Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 171, Portal Shield. I get that Witch grew up spoiled, but what about Melty? Naofumi. That child was brought up with an exclusive teacher. So as much as possible, she was not too influenced by that person. Queen. And that's why Melty is respectable, compared to her sister. Just compared to her sister though. Because if I had to say, Melty's emotionalness stands out. She was angry even when we first met, and was also in hysterics recently. Ah, right, Iwadani-sama has somehow changed how he calls her, so I made the name change. Official. Queen. You did well to distinguish it, despite the two names being mostly the same. Naofumi. I also heard of it through Shadow's report. Queen. Did you hear about the source of the name? Naofumi. Iwadani-sama's world plays a factor. I dare say. It's probably a play on the words succubus or Satan, sorceress or something, right? Queen, T/N, in Japanese, the three words share the character, devilishness, demon, witch. MN, correct. Naofumi. However, what is with you coming up with those words to be associated with your own daughter? Well, that's the impression you get when talking about witch though. Also, I am entrusting this to Melty, but what will you do about the tax rate in your land? Queen. Tax rate, huh? When I think about it, the nobles originally only had to deal with the land management and doing nothing was a virtue, right? Well, I don't know if that's even the case in this alternate world. Having high tax rates while we're still reconstructing is a bit. Naofumi. It's because it's this kind of occasion that the populace's power is swayed. I feel that demanding taxes while they're still unable to live as they please will cause everything to fail. I understand that the Japan I lived in also had such a sore point. Even though we're in hard times, it'll accelerate if taxes are raised. The recession, that is. If you look at history and stuff, taxes must be lowered during a recession. Having said that, as long as we are spirited, we can still expect revenue somehow. Well, I don't know much about it. For now, we should lower those things that will affect the reconstruction and livelihood and raise the prices of luxury goods and such. Naofumi. I'll have Iwadani-sama show us your abilities. I hope you don't expect too much. Naofumi. How should I say it? I'm not that exceptional. One way or another, it's just using the power of the shield. Come to think of it, it's almost time for the bioplants to produce medical herbs, so I'll be able to manufacture medicine soon. My purchasing has also been enhanced, and my property investments are somehow quite substantial. One way or another, I'll be able to sell medicine. I heard from the reports that you made a rather interesting building. Something about a plant that simply becomes a building. Queen. So you're indirectly asking about Rato. Just like I'm being cautious, even the country wants to be careful. Right, I created it with that alchemist who was causing all that trouble in Furbury. Naofumi. I hand a camping plant seed to the queen. This is a prototype for now. Naofumi. Will you be using this for business as well? Queen. There's the issue of it going rampant, so I think it's dangerous for it to be distributed too much. Naofumi. For now, there aren't any problems, but I don't know when something will happen. The problem is that danger is capable of reviving, especially with strange crossbreeding. When I was doing management tasks, a lot of places were lost because of the waves, so at most I was going to use them as a demonstration. Naofumi, T/N, talking about the village being destroyed and camping plant was a trial modification. My place is the result of displaying this technique, and originally I had the intention of emphasizing the selling of medicine. Then how about selling to nobles? Hypothetically speaking, if you cast magic to prevent crossbreeding, then it might be good value to sell them as disposable products. Queen. That's also an option, but, Naofumi. It's not like I can't do it by fiddling with the plant modification. It'll work if I change the fertility value to the lowest setting. It might be good if it's those nobles. I haven't received any complaints, but is it alright? Naofumi. The ones who'll have complaints about the hero of the Shield Sama's work are the current authorities. That's what I'm worried about though. Naofumi. Either way, land management is difficult. I'm under the pretense of teaching Melty, but it seems like I'm being taught instead. It's agony to yield to that short-tempered Melty. Come to think of it, how are the country's nobles giving me, the hero of the shield, such hospitality is essentially just due to the Queen's own judgment, right? Naofumi. For the time being, there's no problems. Instead it's so calm that it's ominous. Queen. It seems like something will happen. Naofumi. Yes. Regrettably it's at a state that I can't reach with my power. Queen. I don't have any conclusive evidence, but I have a hunch. My hunches are usually right when it comes to things like this though. Originally I'm like that too, managing a demi-human village in a human-dominated country, but the Queen, who embraces the hero of the shield worshipped by the demi-humans, is the Queen. This concerns that troublemaking alchemist, but it seems she's adapting to Awadani-sama's place. From what I can see from the reports. Queen. Yeah, it's surprising how fast it was. What really happened in Furberay? Naofumi. It's as she said. Somehow it seems that Furberay's 7-star heroes exiled her due to a conflict over her research and techniques. I suspect it's that, rather than a religious issue. Queen. One way or another, that guy has her own techniques. So she was exiled because of them. I don't know what she was researching in Furberay though. Somehow, the atmosphere reeks of Japan in a certain country competing with their car import businesses. It resembles being chased out by political power. Well, Furberay will probably reveal new weapons eventually. If it makes the waves and living easier, then it's good though. I won't be depending on it either. I still need Rato's support. So this is how the reports are, huh? Naofumi. That is the case, we'll be awaiting your next visit. Queen. With her head lowered, the Queen started to take her leave. That's right, there's ore excavated from the spirit turtle in the castle warehouse, so go ahead and take some whenever you like. Queen. Ah, please turn those materials over to my regular weapon shop. Naofumi. All right. Queen. Because I want to become Oyoji's power somehow. I want to give him priority. With that feeling, the conversation ended and we went to the hourglass of the Dragon's Era for full and Sadana's level reset. At the same time, I received some of the sand from the hourglass of the Dragon's Era. I let the shield absorb it. The Dragon's Era sand shield was unlocked. Dragon's Era sand shield 0/60C. Ability sealed, equipment bonus, skill portal shield. Proficiency 0. I had a look at the sudden pop-up, there were no special skills attached. Its ability wasn't very high either. Portal shield. Naofumi. With a pop, an icon appeared in my field of vision. Transfer memory. Where was the initial transfer location? I identify the transfer. Melromerk summon space. Ah, it's that room I first appeared in. It's unlikely to be anywhere else. I should try jumping as a test. When I do, I become aware of the range. I can also designate comrades that can be transferred. It seems that I can also jump unintentionally. Moreover, it's pretty vast. So there's no need to be touching or anything. They also have it as an emergency escape skill. Then I'm going to use the transfer skill to experiment. Naofumi, okay. Fyro, oh, it looks quite fun. Sadana, you're going to do it. Foal startled and grasped onto Sadana. Sadana also embraced Foal. Fyro was. That's right, Fyro. Distance yourself a little more, please. Naofumi. Understood, Fyro. The human-shaped Fyro trotted away from me. It should be something like this. I become aware of the transfer. When I do, the scenery changes, and I jump to the damp and humid, earth-smelling altar. Speaking of which, this is that kind of place. There's no one around and there's no ceremony being held, so it's natural. You really jumped. How interesting, Sadana. Sadana cackled with laughter. Say, you're always laughing. Foal blinked with surprise. Fyro. Separated from me and yet she was standing close by. It sure is a convenient skill. What was the cooldown time like? Portal shield. Naofumi, reuse time, a countdown time of 1 hour appeared. It's longer than I expected. Well, if it was short then it could be utilized in battle. Now then, let's return. Naofumi, just like this, we finished experimenting and returned to the village. By the way, it seems like the possible transfer point memory of the portal shield is fundamentally impossible inside caves and buildings. The summoning space was the initial point and that's why there's that sort of treatment. And so, if I can't transfer to places that can't be registered, then it's practical to jump to somewhere different. Moreover, there's actually no need to shout, just moving my mouth lets me jump. I covered my mouth with my own hand and just by saying portal shield, an icon appeared. Furthermore, starting with my party members, I have the option of select allies in my surroundings to transfer with. That is to say, it can still be used even if an ally is caught by the enemy. Furthermore, a hostile opponent can't be transported. In short, monsters, the heroes and which aren't allies, so I can't forcibly take them with me. That's a nuisance. Ah, that's right. Speaking of limits, it seems like the carriage is too big and is impossible to transport. That's why the other heroes didn't use carriages. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 172, Discipline. We didn't see Motoyasu on our way home. Naofumi. Fyro doesn't want to see him. Fyro. I had thought to try to persuade Motoyasu if we encountered him but we didn't meet. Was the kick so bad that he died? It would be bad if he fell just like that. But I can't imagine that stalker just dropping dead so easily. Come to think of it, you guys reset your levels but you are moving unexpectedly normally. Was a stretcher not necessary or something? Naofumi. I'm not that fragile. Full. It's quite heavy but not to the extent of being unable to move, Sadana. What kind of people are you guys? Naofumi. Wondering if they were really alright, she tried poking Foal in the arm. Fyro did. Foal. He really seems determined. I don't know if he understood that I was letting him try, but Foal endured. Ahaha, it's ticklish. Sadana. Foal seemed fine compared to Sadana. So were they fine if they had trained their body? Level raising was a completely different category. Compared to training one's body, that was. Unlike simply receiving divine protection from stats, if one trains, they should have no problems with most negative conditions. Or perhaps I should say that these two had been doing such self-training. Raphtalia also did something similar, but the lost stats from the level reset was compensated for by strengthening with training, so there was no loss. T/N, Naofumi only got the growth correction after Raphtalia was LV25 and he's talking about that part not being boosted by the correction. Raphtalia rejected the reset, so no extra bonus. In short, the ones who needed stretchers were those who specialized in magic or had been power leveling and were now bedridden. The method of employing a young noble or adventurer and only raising one's level. You'd expect a certain extent of effectiveness, and the guys from my village also raised their levels in a similar manner, so it's not a bad technique. The problem is that there's no choice but to improve with self-disciplining or something like the old hag's training after reaching the level cap. It seems like there's no level restriction for the heroes, but it's probably still better for me to also do the training. This is a world where levels and statuses are natural, so I should train every day and repeat magic to improve the merit of the level cap. In that case, it could be thought that one can be strong if one trains from young like Foal and Sadana. I don't know how it is in reality, and I'm not going to be staying in this world, so I'll train until we suppress the waves. Anyway, I wonder what would happen to the levels or stats after I return to my original world. The shield as well. No matter what I do, this shield can only be disguised with the book shield at best, so if it remains attached even in my original world, then it would already be in the region of a cursed item. When I become a full-fledged member of society, always walking with a strange book would simply get me laughed at. This kind of thinking is dangerous. I haven't even returned yet, so there's no point in me having such expectations. Even if the shield remains attached, I should think about it when the time comes. You guys, I'll have you level up as soon as we return. Naofumi. Yes, Sadana. I know that. Full. I conveyed as such to Sadana and Full, and we had a favorable return from our trip. It has been just over a day since we departed. I could see the village. Welcome home, Naofumi-sama. Raphtalia. A somewhat tired Raphtalia came to greet us. You seem tired. Naofumi. That old lady has been training me vigorously. Raphtalia. I see, Naofumi. Rishia collapsed face down on the floor as if she was dead. When I drew near and checked her state, I heard a moan. It appears that she's not dead, but she was worn out. Now then, break time is over, we're leaving now. Granny. Phew. Rishia. Well then, we'll be leaving for a little bit. Raphtalia. Where to? Naofumi. We'll be heading to the mountains for some training in a moment. Granny. Ah, is that so? Naofumi. Upon saying that, Raphtalia and the others followed the old hag on a trip. Where did they go? Before I realized, it became like a shounen manga. In the end, that kind of training is needed when learning martial arts. Raphtalia, who had received growth correction from the shield, suffered such fatigue from leveling and self-training. It's as the old, or rather, the battle instructor had said. Welcome home, Naofumi-sama, brother. Atla. Why did you call him first? Atla. Full. That cannot be helped. Atla. What can't be helped? Well, it's probably that I'm the master of these slaves. I've already reached level 15. Atla. I see. Naofumi. So fast. Full. Is it really fast? Rishia reached level 20 in half a day though. Rather, isn't this on the slower side? This probably differs between individuals. If I had to say, it would be that Rishia's leveling was on the fast side. I understand Atla's growth. How is the baby dragon? Kaiaaaaa. Tanako. Some creature was giving Tanako a ride and was running around noisily, raising a cloud of dust. Based on its size, it was as large as an average wild boar, compared to Fyro, but she was already that size at 2 days old. Gurian-chan has come. Atla. Without turning around, Atla revealed the creature behind the dust cloud. Nothing about Tanako riding on his back. Atla-chan. And, Tanako. Tanako saw me and glared. Hey, why do you hate me so much? Naofumi. Because you're a hero. Tanako. Huh. Naofumi. Nothing. Tanako. Somehow Tanako seems to regard me as an enemy. Despite being such a monster lover, she doesn't really hate leveling up. When she came to this village among the slaves, her initial level was 10. She was a complicated person. The dust cloud cleared and I could see the baby dragon's figure. His whole body was a ball with some dragon parts attached. He absorbed all sorts of things. He looked like that Poyo but with bat wings and a lizard's tail. T/N. Poyo is an orange, round cat, and main character of the series Poyo Poyo Kansatsuniki. What is this? Fyro also had a figure similar to this before. There's no way he'll become huge just like this, right? Kaiuaa. Gurian. A smile surfaced on Gurian's face. He dropped Tanako off and leapt at me. As if I'll let you. I prepared my shield to obstruct him. However, he clung firmly to the shield, then climbed over it and onto my back. He's simply huge, so it's heavy. Let go. Don't stick to me. Naofumi. Kaiuaa. Gurian. He stuck out his tongue and licked my cheek. He's become unusually attached just 2 days after his birth. Well, he probably thinks of me as his parent. Hey, stop it. Naofumi. Kaiuaa. Gurian. Gurian ignored my edict and licked me, but he seemed to understand my dislike and ceased to just clinging to me. He's more lovable than I thought. Fyro's also quite cute when she doesn't talk though. Humph, Fyro. Fyro let out a frustrated voice. And then she stood in front of me. What is it? Naofumi. She licked me with her tongue. Ugh, disgusting. Bird, what's with you all of a sudden? Naofumi. That position of masters is Fyro's. Fyro. As if I know. You've never had that kind of behavior. Naofumi. But that way of playing is Fyro's. Fyro. I don't know. Naofumi. Humph. Fyro. Fyro ran away angrily. Geez, what was she so dissatisfied about? Speaking of which, she also became sullen when I played with the new filler reel. Was it jealousy? I heard before that when keeping a dog, it might show hostility if there was an increase in new pets. Or children. It's a bit extreme, treating a filler reel like a dog, but was it something similar? Or it could be Fyro's own personality. I'll ask Rato about it next time. Kua. Gurion. He inclined his head, but it was part of his body so his whole body moved. Tanako stroked Gurion's head as he gazed after Fyro's retreating figure with wonder. Hey, go play with him. Naofumi. Kaiuaa. Gurion. When I passed him to Tanako, she extended her hand to me as if wanting to play again. If Fyro had this kind of animalistic charm, she would also seem cute. I seems he's grown quite big. Naofumi. Yeah. Tanako. This isn't the end of his growth, right? Naofumi. He's still a baby though. Tanako. Tanako replied while cuddling Gurion. Why are you so well informed? Ah, maybe she heard from Rato. But weren't you on his back? Naofumi. That monster lady said it would discipline him properly. Tanako. I see. Naofumi. Is it training for being a mount or something? Fyro did that kind of thing sufficiently. T/N, and therefore didn't need training. As to be expected, dragons have their differences in regards to this. It seems like Gurion-chan also loves Naofumi-sama. Atla. Atla said charmingly. By the way, what is going to happen to brother and Sadana-san now? Atla. Let's see. Fyro just left so I can't really use her right now, Naofumi. Well, she was convenient as transport though. Did you need something? Fyro. Fyro appeared from somewhere after I said her name. Ah, I wanted to have you help Foal level up. You aren't tired? Naofumi. I'm fine. Fyro. I see, then can I count on you? Naofumi. Okay. Fyro. Is it alright if I join you? Atla. Atla inquired of Fyro. Fyro responded with a nod. It's okay. Fyro. Kua. Gurion. Gurion also raised his paw as if announcing his participation. T/N, what do you call a dragon's arm? No. Fyro. Sticking her tongue out provokingly, Fyro rejected Gurion's company. Then head to somewhere with appropriate monsters with the carriage. Naofumi. Ah, I'll be leveling in the ocean so don't worry about me. Sadana. Sadana held her harpoon and informed me. Well, there's no problem if she levels in her own domain. Are you okay at level 1? If you need companions, I'll send some with you. Naofumi. It's fine, it's fine. I'm already used to fighting like this. Sadana. Sadana said I was worrying too much of all things and headed to the ocean. She made me sound like I was her guardian. I don't have much material from sea monsters so it would help if Sadana brought some back. One way or another, she seems like she wants to raise her stats simply. Then those who want to quickly raise their levels will, Naofumi. Fyro hates Gurion with prejudice. It seems like she would cause an uproar if I said I was going to help with Gurion's upbringing. It's none of my business but she can't complain if I continue as I have been doing. And one way or another, Fyro's reliable when it comes to combat. Fyro will help Atla and Foal with their level raising, Gurion and you and Naofumi. After I pointed to Tanako, I called Keel over and instructed them to take the caterpillar with them. I actually wanted them to ride the filler but it was rejected. It seems that it's true that dragons and filler don't get along. I feel like filler are more peaceful and weak but, How is it in the wild? Naofumi-sama, with that deployment, I would be better off with Korean-chan. Atla. Is that so? Naofumi. Really? Phiro. Yes. Because I will grow together with Korean-chan. Atla. Hey, Atla. Foal. They did have the same levels. If that's the case, it can't be helped. Besides, Phiro's Spartan course is difficult, which is perfect for Foal. Then Phiro. Naofumi. Wati. Phiro. Go train Foal Spartanly at the highest difficulty you can manage and raise his level rapidly. Naofumi. Okay. Phiro. Of all things, what are you talking ab, Foal? Foal idiotically clung to Phiro's back as he rode her. We'll be going now, master. Phiro. Ah, off you go. Naofumi. What's with this guy's feathers? Don't fall out. Don't fall out. Ah, Foal. Phiro ran around noisily. Phiro's feathers were also mysterious. They could hold on to riders and made a strange song. T/N. Like how grasshoppers make music. And just like that, I could no longer hear Foal's voice. We'll be taking our leave now. Atla. Work hard. Naofumi. Won't Naofumi-sama join us? Atla. If I go then Phiro will you know. Naofumi. I pointed to Gurion and explained my reasoning. That is troubling. However, I want to be able to level up together with Naofumi-sama soon. Atla. That's true. I haven't been suppressing any monsters lately, so it should be fine when I feel like going. Naofumi. It's a promise. Atla. I know. You're also quite a strange fellow. Naofumi. In this village, it's rare that someone would want to fight monsters and level up together with me. However, if you think about fighting in the waves, it's important to know how to cooperate with me, as I can only defend. Actually, right now only Raphtalia and Phiro have experience fighting with me, but following the plan to a certain extent would mean I should have to participate in battles too. All the same, if we went out to fight the waves together without being able to cooperate, there would have been no meaning in creating this village. T/N, Naofumi created the village to form a private army to fight the waves, but if they don't cooperate, it's the same as fighting with the random soldiers. Come back before nightfall. Naofumi. I got it, big brother. Keel. And just like this I saw the leveling party off and resumed work in the village. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 173, A Shield to Protect the Shield. A few days passed. The days passed way too peacefully. The only problems I have to attend to are the maintenance of the neighboring village and rats. Bioplant modifications. And Melty is helping out a lot with the village. But this seems to be largely due to her subordinates, who are well versed in politics. There is no tax as of now, but we will have to levy one in the near future. For now the villagers must focus on restoration. And, without saying, the villagers happily agreed to that matter. Melty sometimes acts older than her age, but other times acts like a brat. But after that assassination attempt I guess this village is one of the few places she can be at ease. The Queen. I don't consider her an enemy, but she's not a person I should trust so easily. The accessory merchant somehow opened a shop without me even noticing. Because the shield is supposed to be the guardian of demi-humans, the bars are usually filled with demi-human adventurers. We're relying on soldiers for security now, but after reconstruction finishes, I guess I can pass the task on to anyone with free time. There are still too few slaves to start a village. Should I go to the slave dealer again? By the way, on the day he got back, Foal was dragged off by Phiro, and forcefully had his level raised to 18. When he got back, he collapsed. To gain so many levels in an hour may have been too much for his body to handle. I'm leveling up quite fast. Foal. It's probably due to Phiro. She can run at an amazing speed, taking down all monsters on the way. Naofumi. Why Yuri mistaken? The Yuza pills just gave much more experience than usual. Foal. Is that so? Naofumi. Yeah, I don't know why, but the numbers were definitely higher than when I had to fight them a long time ago. Full. Famu. It's possible that hero companions get more experience than other adventurers. Why wasn't I told this earlier? Would anyone even notice unless they reset their level? No, the other heroes may have been able to figure it out from other adventurers, but I'm not really in a situation where I can converse with them normally. The slaves in my possession saw such EXP from the beginning, so they couldn't find anything off. I'll ask Sadana about it later. I'm home. Sadana. Sadana appears carrying a large quantity of fish. The villagers surround me in high tensions, as if to demand that I cook for them. Since things have been going well as of late, I guess I'll do it. The hero of the shield's power is amazing. I get more EXP and my stats rise higher. Sadana. So that really was the case. Naofumi. I guess the EXP bonus is a default setting of being a hero. It's not specific to the shield. Otherwise Rishia would have noticed. And so night fell. I'm back. Keel. I have returned. Atlas. Kyua. Galeon. Keel's party returns from hunting. The party consists of Keel, Atlas, Tanako, and Galeon. It seems that Keel is the main fighting force. When Foal isn't frantically leveling with Fyro, he also joins them. But with this team, I see the balance of powers shifting away from Keel soon. You took a while today. Naofumi. It took a while to feed Galeon-chan. Tanako. So they fed him before they got back. Galeon's neck is growing longer, while the rest of his body remains the same. His evolution is heading in an ominous direction. I made dinner, so eat it and sleep. Naofumi. Nyakan's homemade. Keel. Yeah. Naofumi. Hooray. Keel. Keel seems happy. Again, I question whether my food really is that tasty. The shield's effects are in place, but I wonder about my actual cooking skill. It's probably raised as well with all the experience I'm getting. The food Naofumi makes is superb. Atlas. Yeah. Tanako. Even Tanako nods. The shield is amazing. Anyways, I take out food for Keel's party and return to my house. Wait. Where is Raphatalia? Alright. Raphatalia and Rishia are off doing training with the granny in the mountains. Fyro went off to sleep with Melty. It's been a while since I've found myself alone. I guess I should put more work into making sellable medicine. I need to teach some Lemos as well. Con. I hear a knock on the door. Who could it be? It's the middle of the night. I open the door. No one's there. Was it my imagination? I close it and return to my work. There's another knock. I once again open it to find the doorway empty. Is someone trying to play a prank? And so. Con. Who is it? Who's trying to incur my wrath? Naofumi. Wrath, is it? Atlas. Atlas stares at me with a blank expression. You're not the one trying to annoy me, right? Naofumi. This is the first time I knocked, Atlas. What are you doing here at this hour? Naofumi. That is, Can I sleep with you? Atlas. Don't you share a house with your brother? Naofumi. If I handle this poorly, I think Foal will get annoying. I'd like to avoid trouble. Uni-sama is currently out cold. So until I fall asleep, can you please keep me company? Atlas. Out cold, was it blunt force trauma? No, I don't think this pure girl would do such a thing. I'm fine with talking with her, but sleeping together is a bit. I find it hard to sleep around Raphatalia. My eyes sometimes fly open in the middle of the night. Though Raphatalia herself seems to sleep just fine. It might be due to my own trauma, but I get a bad feeling whenever I'm sleeping in the same room as a woman. I want to decline if possible. Rejected. Naofumi. Then I shall sleep in front of Naofumi-sama's house. Atlas. Why? Naofumi. What's she up to? She's acting strange. There's no choice. You can sleep in Raphatalia's bed. Naofumi. Understood. Atlas. Raphatalia is out, so we have an extra bed. I let her inside. I'm a little worried about Foal's situation. When Atlas falls asleep, I'll go check it out. I lead Atlas to Raphatalia's bed, and tuck her in. Is Naofumi-sama not going to sleep? Atlas. Yeah, I have to work on making medicine. Naofumi. Medicine always sells well. If I leave all the work to the shield, the production speed is too slow. I'll have to earnestly teach some villagers medicine making soon as well. This village needs a steady source of income in order to expand. I've begun selling some to the apothecary in the neighboring village, but my stocks are limited. Though rats' bioplants have started being able to produce herbs, producing the medicine itself seems impossible. I could sell the herbs whole, but that severely drops the price. I also don't want to risk anything, so I want the plants to be processed beforehand. I have high poison resistance. With the shield, I can judge whether or not a plant is poisonous, and I can handle them regardless. Naofumi-sama sure is a busy one. Atlas. I'm only doing it for the money. Naofumi. But because of your hard work I can now walk. Atlas. Naofumi. I was only calculating loss and gain. Don't mistake it for goodwill. But Atlas seems to have found confirmation of her statement in my silence. Keeping up with this girl is difficult. Like Raphatalia, she isn't pushing any ideals onto me, but is treating all of my actions as positive. If I told her to do something now, I'm pretty sure she would do it without question. How scary. Though she's just a kid. This is bad. Isn't it dangerous to be alone at night with that sort of person? A shiver goes down my spine. Naofumi-sama. Atlas. What is it? Naofumi. Raphatalia told me that because you couldn't fight, she became your sword. Atlas. Pretty much. Naofumi. The only thing I can do is protect. This is the shield's ability. One that hasn't changed since I got to this world. The only exception is counter effects, and the Wrath Shield. The Frisbee Shield was a shield that let me throw Frisbee-like projectiles. Now I can finally attack. I got really excited, and tried to throw one at a monster but as expected it fell onto the ground upon impact without dealing damage. Now it's completely become a toy to play with Fyro and the other monsters. After it's been caught it disappears and returns to my hand. Raphatalia is working hard for my sake. I depend on her a lot. Naofumi. To fight the wave. To save the world. Raphatalia really is working hard. When I look at her, I feel motivated as well. Raphatalia is the person I trust the most in this world. Taken out of context, this sounds. Everyone else seems to have hidden intentions. No, that girl has plenty of hidden intentions. Because I am the hero of the shield, the only thing this world lets me do is defend. Naofumi. I know. When I look at this village, I see that everyone is being protected under Naofumi-sama's wings. Atlas. Wings, Naofumi. So I'm like a mother bird, protecting the chicks under its wings. And that would make this my nest. If all you do is protect, everyone will someday leave your nest. Atlas. Anyone that wants to leave can leave, and still I will protect this village. Naofumi. This is Raphatalia's homeland. As long as I restore this land, she will be able to live on when I'm gone. Even if I return to my world, she has people like Sadana and Keel. Fyro has Melty, and Atlas has Foal. This village won't fall so easily. And the inhabitants here should be able to take care of whoever tries to attack, be it a country or an army. But then, who will protect Naofumi-sama? Atlas. Naofumi. What are you saying? Why must I be protected? Why would she direct that at me? What point is there in protecting the shield hero? After coming to this village, I have heard all about Naofumi-sama's exploits. You did amazing work. No matter what adversity you faced, you overcame it and persevered. Atlas. Why yeah. I see. I did receive a promotion too. Naofumi. However, who is going to protect you, Naofumi-sama. Atlas. It's not like I'm not protected. Naofumi. Raphatalia, Phiro, Melty and even the Queen. If I ever get in trouble, I think that they would try to save me. This is what I think. If Raphatalia is Naofumi-sama's sword, then perhaps I could become Naofumi-sama's shield. Atlas. Shield. That's not as easy as it sounds, you know. Naofumi. It doesn't feel good to become someone else's shield. And I see no need for protection. I've gone through painful experiences, but if I mulled over them I would never be able to achieve victory, and I would just sink further into depression. Becoming my shield is quite a goal. It's probably because from the moment she was born, she had to be protected by other. She wants to be the one to protect someone. If my right arm is Raphatalia, then she wants to become the left. However, I get an uneasy feeling when she says this. That sort of thing is something you should say after you get strong. Naofumi. Yes. I swear it to you that I will get strong. Atlas. Good luck. Naofumi. Atlas's breathing calms down. She starts to fall asleep. She sure has developed a strange goal. If Foal heard about it, he would probably get quite angry. I carry Atlas and head over to her and Foal's house. He's really sleeping. Oi. Naofumi. Zzz, Foal. Zzz. This isn't a manga. Get up. Naofumi. Wah. Foal. After putting Atlas in her bed, I wake Foal up and take him outside to talk. Look after your sister properly. She came and said she wanted to sleep with me. Naofumi. What? Then. Atlas has already been, Foal. He glares at me as if I had insulted his ancestors. His slave crest begins to glow. Who would do anything to that brat? Naofumi. Are you saying my Atlas has no charm as a woman? Foal. For the love of. This is a pain. I really just have no interest in that. Naofumi. Liar. Foal. These siblings really are troublesome. Though I say that. To want to become my shield, what a strange child. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 174, Melty's Job. The next morning. Come to think of it, the messenger knight isn't here. Naofumi. I didn't see the female messenger knight. Where did she go? Raphtalia, Rishia, and some of the slaves were taken to a training camp by the granny. Gurion was playing with Atla and Tanako. T/N, which is better, Galion or Gurion? Growl. Gurion complained of hunger. His consumption of the bioplant's fruit was so fast, its production couldn't keep up. Then you guys go hunting again today. Naofumi. Oko why? Tanako. Kua. Gurion. We'll be going. Atla. Atla. I'm going too. Foal. Foal joined the party again today. Well, isn't it fine? I won't let any enemies come near Atla. Foal. It's alright, brother. And besides, Gurion-chan will protect me. Atla. Alright schmalright. As if I'm gonna entrust Atla to this monster. Foal. Kua. Gurion. You're not a monster, Gurion. Tanako. And so they left, with such a hubbub. I'm glad that they seem to be having fun. Well, I guess I'll also go hunting in the ocean. I wanted to raise my level anyway. Sadana. Sadana said that naturally, and headed to the ocean. Now then, I should also go do some land management. The villagers had my instructions, and it became relatively deserted in the daytime. And when the peddling group leaves, the personnel will decrease. I taught a simple medicine recipe to the Limo slaves, the other dexterous slaves, and also those with an interest in making medicine. Just after noon, I announced that the food made by the slaves learning to cook was ready, and we had lunch. Somehow it was a peaceful day. I felt uneasy about what Rato could be doing, but she should have been looking after the monsters in the monster hut. Count. Rato. Rato made an appearance as we were eating lunch. The Count is also letting the monsters class up, right? Rato. Yeah. Naofumi. I'll pick out some of the monsters to class up soon, So would you be able to take care of it? Rato. Got it. Naofumi. That reminds me, monsters can class up as well. The caterpillant. Naofumi. That's just it. If I research on the caterpillant, it won't get much stronger even with a class up. It grew up but its abilities aren't that high, despite this being the Count's place. Rato. Speaking of which, she said that before when wondering whether to modify it. Including that aspect, it's a rather weak species. Nevertheless, isn't it better than to not do it? Naofumi. That's true. Rato. After we finished talking about the monsters class up and so forth, I made an appearance in the town. The shop's products have improved, it seemed to have expanded favorably. The problem would be the formation of factions, but the accessory merchant seemed to have them all under his thumb and there weren't any big movements. I made an appearance at Melty's estate. Melty was there struggling with a stack of official documents just like the Queen had been. No way, she dealt with them promptly, just like her mother. That Melty did. That Melty did. T/N, repeated for emphasis. Not a typo. Fyro Chancharm. Melty. Yeah. Fyro. She struck a pose at Fyro to relieve some of the stress from her work. At first glance, she looked like an idiot. You guys. Naofumi. Every one of them were idiots. But I won't say that. Yeah. I've heard before that intelligent kids have some sort of strange habit. I'm sure this is something like that. Look, Melty's a bird enthusiast, so she probably has that kind of fetish too. Huh? Well, isn't it, Naofumi? What do you want? Melty. I came to see how the state of affairs are. Naofumi. We're doing well. Melty. Melty took a break and rode on Fyro's back while massaging her shoulders. Why did she ride her? Was she pretending to ride on a horse or something? I really don't understand the relationship between these two. The people in the castle are working hard and the people in the commerce guilds are also putting in effort for Naofumi's sake. I guess the problem is the matter of the demi-human adventurers not understanding the whole situation. Melty. I see, sorry about all this. By the way, the knight who usually passes on messages hasn't been seen, and I also don't know the whereabouts of a number of the soldiers. Naofumi. Huh? You didn't hear? We received a leave of absence saying that she and a number of soldiers were accompanying the battle instructor and were secluding themselves in the mountain. Melty. I almost fell over. What was that? She did say she wanted to be taught, but she was going so far as to take a vacation for it. How motivated was she? Well, Naofumi's obtained the warping skill, so moving has gotten easier, right? We only need to receive messages from the castle now, so the priority dropped. Melty. So it's that kind of thing. I've never tried using her to send instructions to the castle though. Naofumi. It's just that Naofumi didn't use her. We relied on her when Shadow had other official instructions. Really, Melty? The documents in the seat Melty was sitting at. There was some sort of cross written on it. Should I write on it as a prank? I drew the design of a paper aeroplane. Which reminds me, was it a rule of the town? I'm sure it was written down somewhere. Naofumi. Yes, this region is under the protection of the hero of the shield, but nevertheless, the demi-humans have been trying to discriminate against the humans. Melty. That's troubling. Naofumi. Discrimination is forbidden, the hero of the shield treats demi-humans and humans alike. I had rules written down for everything. It's not like I didn't understand. But there were fools who felt like they could do whatever they liked here, just because I was the god of demi-humans. Of course, I won't tolerate that sort of thing. I won't forgive anyone discriminating without a proper reason. Just for the record, if they do have a reason, I may forgive them to a certain extent. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to discriminate against the other heroes, right? Ah, so lucky. Naofumi's slaves are patrolling around, so we're managing without problems, but when the town grows further, there might be some commotions we can't ignore. Melty. It should be similar to what happens in the castle town. Neofumi. That's true. We have to be tolerant to a certain extent, but I wonder if the people from Siltwelt and Skildfrieden know that. Melty. Melty took a deep sigh. That this child has to be burdened with middle management, being a queen is hard work. I'll be honest. We kept it from Neofumi, but there are many abandoned demi-human children, it's troubling. Melty. Huh. Neofumi. Neofumi only made the demi-humans he chose into his slaves, right? However, there's no end to the people abandoning their children near this town and village, wanting them to become Neofumi's subordinates without knowing that. Melty. What are you doing about it? Neofumi. For now, we're deporting them back to what we think is their own country, judging by their language and species. It's not like we can't discern their species, and we're also receiving the deportation costs from the other party. But we don't know how serious they are. Melty. So the demi-human countries have really become active. Neofumi. Now, can you warn them in some public place? It's troubling. Melty. Is that so? I understand. Neofumi. Not directly interfering with me was something they said when they were peeved. I wonder if there's any way to handle this problem. Of course, it's not that I can't pick up the abandoned children and turn them into slaves. But if I do, it's likely there will be more children being abandoned. I understand that, so I can't do it. It's true that we profit from the money left by the demi-human adventurers, but regulating them is hard, and besides, humans come too. Melty. One way or another, there's an emphasis on demi-humans. Come to think of it, if you look at the streets, there are many demi-humans. If Fyro-chan wasn't here for the disturbance before, it would have been dangerous. Melty. I see, I've been helped in many ways. Neofumi. If you think that, won't you warn them? At least by the end of today. Melty. I understand. Neofumi. I brought Melty with me and headed to the town square. I stood on the platform established in the square and vocalized loudly. Everyone who put in effort for the sake of the town's development, and all the adventurers who are utilizing the town, I have some things I want you all to hear. Neofumi. After I checked that everyone had gathered, I started talking. I didn't have a memo, but it was a simple task to say all the lines I had memorized earlier. Lately, some people have the misconception that we are a privileged class and have been causing some disturbances. That's why I'm giving this warning. In this town there are no social statuses between races. Neofumi. A third of the demi-humans started to make noise. I'm not really saying to forget the past and make friends. However, whether it's this town or the village, our purpose is the reconstruction. My goal is not to create a town in Melromark that will provide demi-humans with hospitality, but I want no more than to have a government like what the previous head who lived here created. Please don't forget this. Neofumi. As far as it goes, I heard that what the previous head wanted to do was to spread the awareness that demi-humans and humans were equal living beings, in both hospitality and discrimination. I also joined that cause. In the same way, my raising of slaves is not a charitable enterprise, but for the sake of increasing the war potential during the waves. Please bear in mind that I don't have the intention of raising any abandoned children. Neofumi. This was a problem I had to bring up in public. It's not something that can be forgotten. Geez. Did they really think they could ask anything of God? Whether it was Siltwelt or Skildfrieden. They're nations which I may visit eventually, but I hope that they're the kind of nation that doesn't like to be influenced if possible. That is, when these problems occur. I finished the announcement with no problems, and returned to the village. After that was the trivial addition of Melty coming to blame me for a delay in her work, which was actually by caused her playing around with a paper aeroplane. She had Fyro teach her how to make one and had used the paper on her desk, the document with a cross that I had drawn on as a prank. T/N, this sentence was combined with the one before it as a massively long sentence in the Ross, and I had so much trouble figuring out how to word it / split it up. Come to think of it, I've made paper aeroplanes with the children before. although they didn't fly very well because we used the leaves of the bioplant instead of paper. I was told that that paper had the plans for the town written on it. Indeed, you're still a child. When I said that, Melty's face turned red, she became hysterical and left, together with Phiro. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 175, Ding Dong Ditch. Damn. This body's will is stronger than I thought. But given time. I think I've heard this voice before. The voice seems to be in pain. Kukyuku, luckily there are 2 parts of me close by. If only I could obtain one. This seems to be quite a Cheerio 2 situation. Mostly the atmosphere. What is this feeling? Is this Windia's presence? She survived. But it's been 6 days since Raphatalia left for the mountains. That morning. Sigh, Naofumi. It happened again. Atlas has recently been sneaking into my bed. Phiro also occasionally sleeps here, so I just assumed it was her and went back to sleep. Whenever this happens, I go and get full, but his situation is also gradually changing. On morning of the 2nd day, Foal was deceived. In her bed, Atlas had left a dummy. The next day he was suddenly overcome with sleepiness. I believe that Atlas put something into his meal. The dealer of this drug was Galeon. Recently he has learned how to use sleep breath. And then the next day, he was physically put to sleep. He's already losing to the girl. I wonder what will happen today. Naofumi-sama. I have returned. Raphatalia. With a bang the door opens and Raphatalia enters. She looked like she was looking forward to meeting me, but as soon as she steps in her face changes. Recently she's been sneaking in here. Is there anything you can do about it? Naofumi. To clarify, nothing has happened yet, right? Raphatalia. What was supposed to happen? Naofumi. I truly am troubled by her sneaking into my bed. Both Phiro and Atlas don't listen when I tell them to stop. Perhaps the indecency of the situation is angering the pure Raphatalia. Does she think I'm the sort of man who would do such a thing? Sigh. That's right. Naofumi-sama is just that sort of person. Raphatalia. Please go get Foal. I'm more worried about him right now. Naofumi. Yes. Raphatalia. Today he was imprisoned by being wrapped in a mattress. TL, Thinkario from Denpa Ana. Unable to move, he was left lying face down in his house the entire time. Naofumi-sama? Why don't you just deny her? Raphatalia. I definitely drove her out yesterday. And so she slept outside. The day before, I used the slave seal. But she ignored the punishment and came in anyways. Naofumi. Is she some sort of demon? Raphatalia. When I tried to drive her out, she slept outside. And her previous illness gave even more pain than the slave seal, so she was already used to it. She was able to sleep through the punishment. Foal is quite angry. What exactly do you expect me to do? Foal himself was forcibly put to sleep twice already. That's right. Naofumi-sama is just that sort of person. Raphatalia. Why did you repeat it? What are you trying to say? Naofumi. What's wrong, Naofumi-sama? Atlas. Atlas slowly gets up and innocently asks this. We're worrying over you, you know. You don't get it. Raphatalia. I'm just sharing my sleeping spot with him. Is it that bad of a thing? Atlas. To be honest, it's troubling me. Isn't the seal giving you pain as well? Naofumi. The warmth my heart receives outweighs the pain. Why can I not sleep with you? Atlas. Your brother will get noisy. Naofumi. Atlas. Why do you have to go to someone like that's house? Foal. See what I said? Naofumi. Don't mind my brother. I only yearn for Naofumi-sama's attention. Atlas. What are you saying? Foal. Atlas has raised quite a commotion. What could have possible done this to her? There's one possibility. Raphatalia, and also Foal. Naofumi. What is it? Raphatalia. What? Foal. This might be a side effect of the Yggdrasil medicine. Naofumi. Ha. Both. Right. If that's the case, then everything makes sense. Many excellent medicines have troublesome side effects. Perhaps it increases the psychological dependence of the person taking it. That's the only possibility I can think of. Look at the military instructor. She's affectionately calling me Saint Sama. The Yggdrasil medicine might have a love potion-like effect. Naofumi. So the high-class medicine has a single defect. Yeah. And the effect of the medicine on Atlas was greater than it was on the granny. But I can't increase the slave seal effects on her. She may die. Anyways, until the effects dissipate, we must be vigilant. Naofumi. That's right. Raphatalia. Ha. Foal. Raphatalia agrees with my hypothesis, but Foal seems surprised. Are you unsatisfied with something? Naofumi. And no. That must be it. It has to be a side effect. It was a medicine strong enough to give Atlas a full recovery. It must have a strong side effect. Full. You're wrong, Naofumi-sama. I yearn for Naofumi-sama from the bottom of my Atlas. Now then, Atlas, let's level up a lot today. Full. Ah, Naofumi-sama. Atlas. Foal grabs Atlas and leaves the premises. This is the opposite pattern from before. It's a bit refreshing. Despite how they act, they're still siblings. Now then, Raphatalia. Did you finish your mountain training? Naofumi. No. We decided to switch locations, so I stopped by, Raphatalia. Saint Sama, has my disciple Raphatalia stopped by here? Granny. I hear the old woman's voice from outside. Disciple. I see, Naofumi. It seems I must return to the mountains now. Raphatalia. Henjin Muzu, was it? It seems the training is tough. Perhaps I will have to undertake it later. Well, I probably have to. If I take on an attack that ignores defense, I'll probably die. Yes. I'll find some free time and train on my own. Boy, do you wish for greater power? Granny. Outside, I see the old woman trying to recruit Foal. Female knight is staring at him with jealous eyes from afar. She took a vacation to go with the old woman, but she has yet to be taught. I have a duty to look after my little sister. Foal. I won't accept it if you escape with such a lukewarm reason. For the Saint Sama, you must attain even greater strength. Granny. Atlas. I am. I am. Foal. Was Foal's fate decided from the beginning? This is no good. If Foal isn't here, how am I supposed to prevent Atlas from coming to my bed? Atlas is waving her hands at me. Now there's nothing stopping me from sleeping with you. Naofumi's mind is what she must be thinking. I must take drastic measures. For now, let me take some measures. Naofumi-sama doesn't have to worry. Raphatalia. Ah, understood. I'll rely on you. Naofumi. Yes. I definitely won't let Naofumi-sama make any mistakes. Raphatalia. If I leave it to Raphatalia, it should be okay. And what do you mean by make any mistakes? And after breakfast, Raphatalia and the others once again set off. And they took Foal with them. Con. Again. Recently I've been having my house ding-dong dashed quite a bit. They're probably delighted over seeing me come out and find no one there. That's why, after the slaves gathered at breakfast, I accessed the slave seal options and checked a box. Recently, someone has been doing pranks on my house. Does anyone have anything to say about this? Naofumi. Nobody stepped forward. And none of their slave seals activated. So it wasn't a slave? Then I stared at the soldiers and other shopkeepers who have come to the village. They all shook their heads. Who could it be? I confirm it. I open the door, and of course no one is there. This happens on an average of 3 times a day. I could get someone to watch the door, but then they probably won't pull any pranks. But I can't really leave this matter alone. Con. By the way, yesterday I waited in front of the door and opened it the second it was knocked. It was Keel. And like Atlas, she claimed it was the first time that she knocked. She asked what the orders were for today, and she was with a large group of slaves, so she probably wasn't the culprit. And today, Keel and the others have left to go peddling. The only slaves in the village at the moment are those that are good with their hands, and I have already told them not to come to my house this morning. So this time it must be the culprit. I won't let them away today. Shield prison. Naofumi. I capture whoever's on the other side of the door. I open the door. The shield prison is shaking. It looks like I caught something. What's wrong, Count? Rat. Rat, what are you doing here at this time? Naofumi. I took a walk for a change of pace. More importantly, what are you trying to do? Rat. Recently someone's been knocking my door and running. I told you at breakfast, right? Naofumi. Ah, right. So that's the culprit. Rat. Most likely. Naofumi. I wonder what sort of person it is. Rat. Shield prison's effects wear off, and disappear. Kyuaaaaaaaa. Galeon. Me and Rat stare at him with the same fed-up expression. Yeah, if it wasn't a slave, I should have suspected the monsters. But I didn't think there was a monster who would actually attempt to ding-dong dash. Galeon tries to escape by flying into the sky. I open the monster seal and activate a punishment. Kyuaaaaaa. Galeon. Galeon falls to the ground and begins thrashing about. Including his tail, the dragon's full height is now 2 meters. He definitely looks like a dragon. But his tail is too thick. His eyes are big, and he gives off the impression of an innocent child. He's also a bit fat. His current level is 35. His growth has begun to slow down. He didn't grow as big as I thought he would. Tanako hears Galeon cry out, and comes running. Galeon, what's wrong? Tanako. He's the culprit. I caught him red-handed. Naofumi. Tanako. Tanako seems to be deliberating whether or not to defend Galeon. She looks at me. Don't defend him. If someone does something wrong, they will be punished. Naofumi. Understood, bad Galeon. You can't pull pranks. Bad. Tanako. Kyuaa, Galeon. What's happening, master? Fyro. Fyro hears the commotion and comes over. Wasn't she playing with Melty? Ah, you made him mad. Fyro. Fyro taunts Galeon and tries to rile him up. Galeon made Master mad. That's why Master belongs on only Fyro's back. Fyro. Kyuuu. Galeon, TL, his cry actually changes. Galeon begins to get angry. I turn on Fyro's punishment as well. Akyaaaaaa. WY. Fyro. Don't laugh at someone else's mistakes. Naofumi. But Master laughs at others, Fyro. Now that you mention it, she's right. I deactivate the monster seal. I understand Rafatalia's feelings now. Though I don't plan on reforming myself. Why are you admitting defeat here? Rat. I laugh at others' mistakes, so I don't have a right to caution others on it. Naofumi. You know, Rat. Rat puts her hand on her head. She seems amazed. I laugh at Witch and Trash's failures. I laugh at the other heroes' situations. I can't be persuading others not to do as such. Though I don't plan on reforming myself. Just because you think he's your rival, you can't go around saying things like that. Rat. Bulletin, Fyro. If you get me angry, you know what happens, right? Rat. No. Fyro. What's with this farce? Though this may be good therapy for Fyro. Why would you do such a prank? Tanako. Tanako pats Galeon's face. Galeon calls out softly. It's because he wanted to play with you, he says. Tanako. Ha. Naofumi. You never play with him. You only play with that bird. Tanako. Mew. Fyro. Fyro and Tanako glare at each other. When Galeon is concerned, it seems Fyro gets serious. It's not like I particularly play with Fyro, anyways. Wait, so if I don't play with him, he'll keep doing this. Naofumi. Kyua. Galeon. He nods. I can't be bothered to look after him. I look at Rat. Skinship is important. For both of them. Rat. Is that so? Well, that seems like a pain. Then, Fyro and Galeon. I'll play with you guys every day on rotation. However, if you bother the other person, your turn will be skipped. Naofumi. Mew. Fyro. Kyua. Galeon. They glare at each other and make sounds of complaint. Then I won't play with either of you. Naofumi. I got it. Fyro. Kyua. Galeon. Both sides give in and nod. Then today, we'll start with Galeon. Naofumi. Kyua. Galeon. Fyro. Half the day has already passed. Tomorrow, you will get a longer turn, so endure it. Aren't you supposed to be the older one here? Naofumi. Mew. I got it. Then. Fyro. Reluctantly, Fyro invites Tanako to go level. Atlas also goes with them. Oh right, Count. I thought I should teach you how to make use of a dragon. Rat. What? Naofumi. Dragon body fluids are high-class medicinal ingredients. Rat. I see, Naofumi. His saliva and breath might make for good materials. Rat. Oh right, Atlas was able to make a sleeping drug with Galeon's breath. In order to put her brother to sleep. I wonder how he fell for that so easily. Similarly, some parts of Philo-reals can be turned into medicine, but that child is extraordinary. I recommend getting closer to her and exploiting that later. Rat. Oi, do you really love monsters? Naofumi. Fyro's saliva? Motoyasu is the only one who would want something like that. Maybe I'll consider it. Now then, Galeon. What should we play? Naofumi. Kyua. Galeon. His tail wags like a dog's. He seems happy. I guess I'll play with the frisbee shield. I change my shield into a frisbee and throw it. Galeon majestically chases it while flapping his wings. The disc flies quite far. He catches the thrown frisbee, it disappears and returns to my hand. Galeon seems overjoyed. He flies straight at me and begins licking my face. It's nice how pure he is. Unlike that talking bird. And after playing with Galeon for a while, I went back to my work. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 176, Wimp. And so Rafatalia's proposed Atlas countermeasure is you. Naofumi. Yes, I am also quite troubled. Sadana. Sadana answers while pouring herself a glass of sake in my room. Why was she even chosen? Well, just leave it to this Oni-san. Sadana. That's just making me more anxious. Naofumi. Sadana had a fast growth rate, and she is already level 35. She hunts alone. I wonder how strong the sea monsters she fights are. Should I send the other slaves ocean monster hunting? I could build boats, and what exactly should I do? Should I act like I'm having a good time with Naofumi-chan in front of Atlas-chan? Sadana. That sounds idiotic. What do you mean by a good time? Naofumi. She's avoiding directly saying anything indecent, but Sadana is slowly taking off her loincloth. Who wants to have a good time with you? Please limit your jokes. Rafatalia, your choice of personnel is wrong. If it's with Naofumi-chan, I think I can have a good time. Sadana. Listen to people when they're talking to you. Naofumi. What sort of good time did you have in mind? I wanted to invite you to drink sake with me. Sadana. Sigh, Naofumi. My head hurts. And I haven't even drunken anything. So she was adjusting the cloth as not to spill anything on it. I'm supposed to be past an age where I get flustered by something like that. Anyways, stop calling me Naofumi-chan. Naofumi. Isn't it fine? Sadana. No, it's not. That's why I'm telling you. Naofumi. Why am I spending my night under the same roof as this one? Dealing with people like this tires me out. This is all Atlas's fault. Don't be so stiff. Galian-chan is also helping keep watch. Sadana. Kyua. Galian. Just in case, we also have Galian standing on watch. He's too big to fit through the door. But we somehow managed to squeeze him in. Galian has curled up in a corner of the room. He occasionally wanders around looking at the objects in my room with curiosity. Sleeping with Galian-chan feels quite high class. Sadana. That's all you're thinking of. Naofumi. This person. I'm not going to become her toy. Do you have any intention of answering Atlas-chan's feeling? Sadana. Feelings? That person is a child. Raphatalia is the same. My relationship with them is like father and child. Naofumi. They didn't have anyone to look out for them, and suddenly I took up that role for them. Even if they may mistake that emotion for love, it's more like the love they will have for their family. And as an elder, I cannot approach them based on those vague emotions. That's something that comes after they mature mentally. And even if they mature, we are in a situation where anyone could die in battle at any moment. I only bought Raphatalia because she was the same gender as Witch. I don't have the right to be like that with her. The same goes for Atlas. I'm a coward, you know. I'm building a place that may take them to their deaths here. Naofumi. And that's Naofumi-chan's reason. Sadana. Sadana stares at me with serious eyes. Naofumi-chan sure does treasure everyone. Sadana. Did you hear what I just said? I'm nothing but a coward. Naofumi. I'll leave it at that. But if you get really close to Raphatalia-chan, you better be prepared for stuff like that. Sadana. What are you even talking about? Naofumi. I think the sake is getting to her. After talking for a while, she lies on the bed, and turns her back to the door. Atlas. What the hell are you doing? Before I can say that, Atlas quickly opens the door and enters the room. Oh my, Naofumi-chan is quite bold. Sadana. Who is being b-dash? Naofumi. She lifts up the covers and pulls me in, interrupting my sentence. What is this? Wait. Era, Atlas-chan. Naofumi-chan is currently doing something fun with this Oni-chan, so please come back later. Sadana. Don't screw with me. I don't want to get into a situation that could cause such misunderstandings. Her large body is trying to crush me. But, don't forget that I am the hero of the shield. Something of this weight feels like nothing. Kyua. Galian. For some reason, even Galian climbs into the bed. I really don't get that feeling, Atlas. Era? You saw through it. Oh well. 'Twas a failure. Sadana. What do you mean failure? Naofumi. Was this Sadana's supposed Atlas countermeasure? She can't see, so if she doesn't feel that sort of presence, Atlas won't be fooled. And even if it succeeded, my standings in the village would be crushed. Everyone would look at me like a pervert. What sort of situation would have me in this position with Sadana? Quit it. Naofumi. Then on to stage 2. Galian-chan. Sadana. Kyua. Galian. Go try to have a fun time with Atlas. Sadana. That's definitely impossible. Give it up. Naofumi. Stage 2? Are these people even serious? Naofumi-sama and Sadana-san sure get along well. Atlas. Atlas ignores us and enters the house. Don't enter my house without permission. Now then, Atlas-chan. You understand why I'm here, right? Sadana. Yes. Atlas. You're quick-minded. Atlas-chan is quite a good girl, but please leave these sorts of things for when you become an adult. Sadana. I can't. Atlas. This Oni-san doesn't like kids who don't listen. Sadana. I yearn for Naofumi-sama. I just want to get a little closer to him. Atlas. Arera. This is quite serious. Sadhana. Sadhana seems to have given up. So Rafatalia's countermeasures only go this far. Naofumi-chan, won't you have a fun time with Atlas-chan? Sadhana. Hell no. Naofumi. Then there's no helping it. Sadhana. Sadhana puts her hand on Atlas's shoulder. Atlas-chan, Naofumi-chan is a wimp, so he can't bring himself to devour women. Sadhana. Wimp. Oi. Naofumi. Somehow the situation has headed in this direction. It's alright. Naofumi-sama is someone who does things when the time is right. Atlas. Atlas seems to have developed a strange trust in me. This is a pain. I want to run away. Does this girl even know what she's saying? Your resolve is unwavering. Atlas-chan, me and Naofumi-chan are concerned about your age. Sadhana. My age. Atlas. Yeah, Atlas-chan is still a child. You've just gotten over your illness, so please grow up healthily. And if you still love Naofumi-chan at that point, Naofumi-chan will consider it as well. Sadhana. I see, Atlas. Atlas seems troubled. She tilts her head as she answers. Nice follow-up. Because she's a child, tell her, after you grow up, we'll get married. Since I was raised in otaku culture, I know the phrase works. It will bring some problems down the road, but I don't plan to stay in this world for too long. So I don't have to deal with it. Yeah, let's go with this. Wait. Isn't this the train of thought of a wimp? Let's not think too hard about it. It's still too early for you. Sadhana. But I heard that he sleeps with Raphatalia-chan. Atlas. Not that sleep with. We just sleep in the same house. The only one who sometimes climbs into my bed is Phiro. Naofumi. Then, without any deeper meaning, please let me sleep in the same bed as you. Atlas. It was no good. Words aren't getting through. No, it seems that they are, but her will is unchanged. And this is a place where I may die tomorrow. If I have to wait to adulthood, it may be too late. Atlas. So she realized it. In this world, you don't know when and where you might die. And the people of my village are eventually going to combat the wave. It goes without saying that the people here may die. But this is a child whose illness could have taken her at any time. She must live treasuring very day. I can't live relying on my brother forever. I want to properly marry someone. Atlas. And that someone is Naofumi-chan. Sadhana. Yes, I can't consider anyone other than Naofumi-sama. Atlas. Then it would be best for you to understand his feelings more. Sadhana. Naofumi-sama's feelings. Atlas. Right. Naofumi-chan is considering Atlas-chan and everyone else. It's not like he has no special feelings for you, but there is something more important than that. Do you understand? Sadhana. Yes. Atlas. Atlas answers after a long silence. Sadhana is quite good with words. Is she just good with dealing with children? I should caution myself not to get swept up into her pace. From Naofumi-chan's point of view, Atlas-chan is a precious villager. Everyone in this village is like family to him. Even his closest Raphatalia understands this. Sadhana. Though I believe that Raphatalia is quite diligent, and uninterested in love. But if I bring that up here, I will get into trouble, so I'll keep quiet. So don't try to be selfish or Naofumi-chan will get mad. Please wait for the right opportunity to get him. Sadhana. I understand. Atlas. Sadhana points at me. For some reason her index finger and middle finger are curled with her thumb in between them. In my world, that sign is quite dangerous. I wonder what it means in this one. It seems Sadhana is using it in the way I know. Then I'll sleep in his room waiting for the opportunity. Atlas. Nothing changed. Naofumi. Kyua. Galeon. What am I supposed to do? There's no helping it. This Oni-chan will sleep with you. Don't go crawling into Naofumi-chan's bed. Sadhana. Got it. Atlas. For now. Does she understand? I don't feel any safer. Atlas lies down on Rafatalia's bed. Sadana-san, before we sleep, can you tell me a story? Atlas. Let's see, then will one about the ocean be fine? Sadana. Sadana soothes Atlas and begins speaking. She's a strange person, but she seems to be nice. She's trusted by the villagers, though I don't get what they see in her. She's become about as trusted as me. They rely on her more than Rafatalia. She also seems to be good with children. If she doesn't mess around, there are a few jobs I want her to do. Kyua. Galian. Galian was listening to Sadana's story, but he soon got bored and began snooping around the room. He sticks his head into the sack I keep the materials used to make new clothes and weapons. Hey, don't tamper with that. Naofumi. Galian is quite a curious one. He's also easy to deal with. Fyro was also like this once. Is what I thought. But I never thought this would be the trigger for that big incident. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 177, Level Drain. Kyua. Galian. The sack collapses and the contents fall out. Recently Galian has acquired some bad habits. Last time it was the ding-dong dash, this time it's the sack rummaging. I scold him every single time but he still doesn't stop. Just when I thought Atlas became more obedient, this time it's Galian. Also, Fyro does the same thing. Even now. By the way, Fyro while searching the garbage would refer to them as treasures. After all, she is a bird. Galian is no different. I'm sure the dumpster diving would also turn into a territorial dispute. Geez. Think about the cleaning I'd need to do. Naofumi. Rolling out from the sack are demon bones, ores and the zombie dragon's core which was previously attached to the barbarian's armor. The core of zombie dragon continues to roll. Galian sees the zombie dragon's core, chases it with his eyes and starts playing with it. His reaction is like a cat's. This reminds me, Galian and Fyro both like shiny things. Didn't Fyro's eyes shine brightly the same way when she saw the zombie dragon's core for the first time? It's the same habit they both shared. TL, referring to the time Fyro ate the zombie dragon's heart in Chapter 44. Kyua. Galian. Though I am slightly calmed down by this happy state, I have no wish for such mood. Let's end this quickly with a swift scolding. Paku. Galian grips the core of the zombie dragon with his jaws. Hey. That thing isn't yours. Return it quickly. Naofumi. But I might as well have been talking to the wind. Galian pays no attention to me. The zombie dragon's core is deep within his mouth. Honestly. Gakun. He swallows it. Hey. Spit it out. Naofumi. I grab Galian by the scruff and shake him. Didn't the monster seal have a punishment for that? I tried activating the system at the same time. Q. Galian. Galian convulses and writhes with his eyes wide open. Q. Gya. Q. Galian. Galian breaks out into cold sweats with his eyes tightly shut and moans as if enduring something. The sound of something creaking can be heard from Galian's whole body. Oi. Naofumi. What's going on? Sadana. There's a terrible ominous feeling overflowing from Galian-chan, is he alright? Atlas. An ominous feeling? Before I could ask, I see with my own eyes a darkish purple light being emitted from Galian's body. And the magical power is unleashed. This color, I recognized it. When I equipped the Wrath Shield, Fyro was also enveloped by the same aura. Gaiauu. Galian. With bloodshot eyes, Galian roars towards the ceiling. A breath of magic is unleashed from Galian's mouth and the ceiling is blown away in an instant. Gya. Galian. Flap. The sound from his wings reverberates as they begin to expand. Galian leaps high into the air. Great. I'll just open the monster seal and activate the punishment. Opening the monster seal. But the view for my status window is warped, the monster seal could not be activated. Gaiauu. Galian. As I was thinking of calling out to Galian with a loud voice, He begins to fly towards somewhere else. What? Naofumi. What just occurred? Satana. Galeon ate the zombie dragon's core which was used in my armor. Then that happened. Naofumi. Something wrapped around Galeon-chan, and then, Atlas. We exit the building and look at the direction Galeon flew in. What is it? Rat. The slaves who remained in the village begin to appear when they heard the commotion. What? Did something happen? Tanako. Together, Rat and Tanako look in the same direction towards me. To tell you the truth, Naofumi. I explained how Galeon ate the zombie dragon's core. The core of a zombie dragon. The Count sure has strange things. Rat. Do you have any ideas? Naofumi. I'm not that knowledgeable about dragons. Dragons are a species whose ecology is shrouded in mystery. Though I've heard the cores found in other dragons are highly desired. But to make him lose control like this, Rat. We must chase after him. Tanako. Says Tanako impatiently. Oh yeah, it's her precious dragon. The core of the zombie dragon is important for my armor and in the worst case, I'll get it back even if I have to fight Galeon for it. I understand. We have no choice but to call Fyro and leave. It doesn't mean we couldn't just chase after him. But it will be much quicker with Fyro. I haven't even ridden him yet but I have to take him down. What kind of dragon is he? We need horses to go to the next town, Naofumi. Riding on horses prepared by the soldiers, we are off to find Fyro. Halfway to next town, we meet several soldiers on horses riding in from the opposite direction. Ah, shield hero. We were just on our way to fetch you. Soldier. What it is? I also have an errand to attend to. Naofumi. Princess Melty urgently summons the shield hero. It seems something grave has happened to the shield hero's holy bird. Soldier. What? Naofumi. While being guided by the soldiers, we head towards the clinic built in town. Upon entering the clinic, Melty comes rushing with a face that's about to break into tears. You know. Fyro-chan started suffering suddenly. Naofumi. Help Fyro-chan. Melty. Suddenly telling me to be a doctor. I do not understand because I'm not a treatment master. But if there's something I can do, I will do it. Naofumi. Absolutely. Melty. That being said, if it's a really dangerous disease, there's no choice but to rely on the Yggdrasil medicine. The problem is, there's only one left in stock, but if it's for Fyro, then it's worth using. I'm reminded of how deeply attached I am to Fyro. I will spare no expense. Anyway, let me have a look. Naofumi. Yes. Melty. I enter into the medical examination room accompanied by Melty and the treatment master. There Fyro lies wearily in her monster form. Fyro. Around the abdomen, her body was being eroded like when I changed into the Wrath Shield. Actually, it's worse. It would be better to say that the damage has greatly increased. Though the erosion is being resisted by the shiny crown of feathers on Fyro's head, you can feel that the erosion is winning. What's going on here? Can this even be cured by the Yggdrasil medicine? Naofumi. It is unknown. But because the magical connotation is so strong, I don't expect the Yggdrasil medicine to have any effect. Treatment Master. The bewildered Treatment Master answers my questions. I check the status of Fyro using the status window. I can determine simple matters such as whether Fyro is being invaded by poison or paralysis. Oh, Master, Fyro. Fyro reaches out to me while groaning painfully. I touch Fyro gently on the cheek. She wasn't in her human form but still, when stroking her cheek, even though she groans painfully, Fyro lets out a comfortable smile and closes her eyes. Then I continue with the status verification. Fyro's status screen flickers many times like in a sandstorm. No matter how you consider it, it is unusual. I also notice a big problem while I'm there. Fyro's level is lower than the number I know. Level down. What is going on? Multiple possibilities are surfacing. The problem is it's only circumstantial evidence for now, so I can't be certain. Bring in Rat from the village. Naofumi. Understood. Melty. After a while, not only Rat, but even Atlas, Tanako, and Sadana come in together. Fyro-chan. What happened? Tanako. The worried Tanako runs up to Fyro. Usually, you are prejudiced against Fyro whose relationship with Galeon is bad, but now you're saying you are worried. Is it natural because you like monsters? Rat, what you think? Naofumi. If I was to take a haphazard guess, I'd say she's being eroded by a curse, don't you think? Will you? Let me have a look. Rat. Rat reads the diagnostic notes that the treatment master made, then she begins to medically examines Fyro's body. If you can look at the status, you can see the level going down little by little. Naofumi. Level down. Isn't that the equivalent of a high-ranked curse? So far I've never seen anything as terrible as this. Rat. I'm willing to bet this has a connection with Galeon losing control and running off at the same time. What do you think? Naofumi. I think there's no doubt. But is there a matching contact point between Galeon and Fyro? Rat. There is, if you assume the core of the zombie dragon is the cause. Naofumi. What? Rat. During the encounter with the zombie dragon, Fyro ate his core. The one I received was only a small fragment. Naofumi. In fact, the reason why Fyro managed to defeat the zombie dragon was at the decisive moment. When Fyro ate his core. When we assume that both events are connected, we become more convinced. Indeed, it is reasonable to consider something is influencing Fyro who ate the core and Galeon who is currently running out of control. Rat. I suppose. Naofumi. Then confirm it with Galeon. I feel like it's not yet settled with that alone somehow. Rat. I verify Galeon's status. As expected, just like Fyro's status window, a sandstorm happens, and there are a lot of things which could not be read. However, his level has skyrocketed. Naofumi. It is visibly increasing. Galeon's level, which is 35, has become 45. It's exceeded the class up limit. I feel an ominous force is flowing out from Fyro-chan. Atlas. It is plain to see. Naofumi. No, I don't mean that. Atlas. Atlas points her finger at something. Although there's supposed to be nothing there. Atlas-chan is a child who can see things that are not visible to the naked eye, she might know where the force is moving towards. Rat. Naofumi. There is enough possibility. She has a surprisingly useful ability. The problem is the supposed destination in which Fyro's force is flowing towards. It's the same direction that Galeon flew in. Is it possible for the core in Fyro to be vomited out? Naofumi. It's impossible. When I incidentally used my magical power of perception, I can see the core circulating throughout her whole body. Atlas. I verified the status of Fyro. To recall Raphatalia and the others to chase after it. At the speed it is decreasing, we don't even have 2 days. Fyro is fast becoming level 1 no matter what I think. No, it's still better if it becomes 1 and stops. At the worst, she may die. Also, I can see some additional force leaking out from Naofumi-sama. Atlas. What? Naofumi. I check my own status screen. Apparently, it's unnoticeable. That it's from around the area where the left arm is now. Atlas. It's the place where I have my shield attached. It comes from the shield. I had let the shield absorb half of the core fragment. TL, referring to the events in chapter 44. Does that mean the shield's ability is decreasing? I check the list again for confirmation, but there is no abnormality for now. Rather, my heart seems to be feeling refreshed. What was I supposed to be angry about again? I sense danger. For now, locate where the battle instructor is having the training camp and give instructions to come back. We are chasing after Galeon immediately. Otherwise there wouldn't be enough time. Atlas steps forward full of determination. Naofumi-sama, there is something I would like to try out for a bit on Fyro. Atlas. What is it? Naofumi. I would like to suppress the leakage of Phyro's force even by a little. Atlas. Atlas goes to the side of the laying Phyro and puts a hand on her chest, then she affixes both hands. Lightly. Ah, Phyro. Phyro moans painfully while opening her eyes and slowly gets up. It became a little bit lighter. Phyro. Phyro. Melty. Melty runs up to Phyro. I think we've gained some extra time. Atlas. Well then. A carriage, Neofumi. Shit. There are no guys who can run as fast as a vehicle. Philo Real is out peddling. Do I have to rent a Philo Real in town? Pursuit of Galeon will be me, Sadana and, Tanny. No, you and Rat will, Neofumi. The one who will draw master's carriages. Phyro. Phyro. Phyro declares with a strong will in her eyes while being supported by Atlas. Phyro-chan is no good. You have to stay still. Melty. Yes. You rest quietly in bed. Neofumi. However, Phyro shakes her head to refuse. No. Phyro is absolutely going together with Phyro. There is none of the usual vigor. But she takes a step forward and insists to follow at any costs. If she was made to stay here, she will certainly come chasing. No matter what, she is very stubborn. Well, if anything happens, I'll leave you in a clinic. And then, I'll get another guy to pull the carriage. Neofumi. Neofumi-sama. Atlas. Atlas, you'll also be there to suppress it, right? Neofumi. Yeah, yes. Atlas. Good. Neofumi. I will go too. Melty. Melty declares even though she is on the verge of breaking out into tears. Ah, her best friend is in a pinch. She insists on coming by any means necessary just like Phyro. I ignore the declaration of the princess. Do not act rashly. You are a princess. Neofumi. Being a princess comes second, Phyro-chan is my friend. Melty. I see. Neofumi. Before was Phyro throwing a tantrum about wanting to protect Melty. T/N, corrected by Kuki. Phyro has a good friend indeed. We are setting off to chase after Galeon. Soldiers of the castle must hurry and notify Raphatalia and the others. Neofumi. Yes. Everyone. Thus we let the stubborn Phyro overdo herself and left on a carriage. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 178, Grasping Forces. It's been 4 hours since we departed. Phyro's status decrease is being suppressed by Atla. Phyro's LVL points are declining steadily. The LVL down speed have decreased but it's still a severe situation. Atla, do you know where the power is going? Neofumi. Yes, Phyro tells me which direction it's heading, Atla. Okay, Neofumi. Hey, Phyro. Phyro-chan. Atla. Atlas is riding Phyro's back and I entrusted driving the carriage to Melty. Rat and Tanako puts the situation in order, Sadana is watching the back. Phyro is getting considerably exhausted. It'll be dangerous if we don't make it there fast. Motoyasu's beloved Phyro is in a great pinch. Where and what is that fellow doing at such a time? Raising a flag is now impossible. That guy isn't even around when you needed him. Where on earth did he intend to fly? Neofumi. I can sense that he is somewhere over there, Atla. It's still midnight. The sun will rise eventually, but it's still far. Worst case scenario, we have to get rid of Galeon, do you understand? Neofumi. I told Tanako directly. Tanako was the closest one to him. Even though Galeon is mine, I think that I have to say it. Tanako. It is strangely logical, I thought that you'd refuse it more, Neofumi. It's not like we're giving up just yet, Tanako. Well, I know, Neofumi. I understand that it is a bad decision to make. However, I refuse to consider not doing something about it, Tanako. Is that so? Then I will get rid of any hesitation, Neofumi. I get it. It's our last resort. But we absolutely have to help Galeon, Tanako. I'm trying to be as casual as I can be about this matter. I understand that Galeon is what's tormenting Fyro. Galeon is a huge asset for us, of course, getting rid of him is going to be our last option. I want to avoid that as much as possible. I hate the hero, Tanako. Tanako sheds tears and she kept on crying all the while. I'm used to being hated, Naofumi. It's not you, Tanako. I can somehow sympathize with Tanako, it is something unlikely a hero would do but not me. But the one she is thinking of. Is it Itsuki? Saving people halfway, the barbaric justice. But this feeling is something different. Who exactly have I become? Where would such a thing fly anyways? Rat. Where do you think did Galeon go to? Naofumi. If I were to predict it, I think it would probably be the east of Melromark, Rat. East huh? Naofumi. If I remember correctly, east of Melromark is where we fought the rotting dragon. Alright. It's the area where we faced the rotting dragon, Naofumi. I see. It is merely going back to his own territory, right? Rat. I think so too, Naofumi. What should this Oni-san do, Sadana? While I was talking with Rat, Sadana answers from the back. I still can't come up with a solution. There's also a probability of encountering monsters at this hour. Actually, there are several monsters that are following from behind. But Sadana is intercepting them with magic and harpoons. The front is being managed by Atla, Fyro and Melty. But Fyro can't fight because she is already struggling on pulling the carriage. It's unreasonable to force yourself. I also used Meteor Shield to protect Atla and Fyro at the bare minimum. I'm thinking of a way to return Galeon back to his sense. You should be more vigilant of your surroundings, Naofumi. Why yes. Sadana. If you have other ideas to help Galeon, then spit it out. And make it faster, Naofumi. Then maybe, Rat. Can't we just pin him down and take it out of his mouth by hands? But we need to use a tool that he cannot bite through, Rat. It'll be alright. My defensive power is no joke, Naofumi. Well, we don't have to worry about the count, Rat. Rat, can you suppress Galeon using your drug? Naofumi. Do you even need to ask me that? Rat. Rats shows me a syringe with the drug in it. This drug is quite strong. It is strong enough that even a dragon cannot move for a while, Rat. I see, then I'm counting on you, Naofumi. Raphtalia is not here, but the LVL around here is not very high. Galeon's LVL is increasing little by little and status is getting really high because of the shields. Correction. Draining Fyro's status indicates his status. It's like fighting a dragon-shaped Fyro. I think I'll be fine, but the other slaves will be in trouble if they were to receive an attack. If a god exists, it seems he wants to see me suffer. First, let's have a meeting. Rat, it'll be good if you weaken him even if it's just a little, Naofumi. Okay. Will do, Rat. Sadana, I will approach Galeon and you will be on guard with enemies getting near us, Naofumi. And me. Tanako. Tanako is shaking while asking. Can you fight? Naofumi. If I do, Galeon will be badly injured and it'll be dangerous, Tanako. This strong sense of responsibility. What can you do? Naofumi. I don't know how Tanako fights as well. Back then I saw her holding a stick, but what is she doing now these days? I'm good with magic attacks, among everyone else this is something that I can take pride in, Tanako. Hua. What kind of magic? Naofumi. I don't really understand. But as for the woman who's teaching me magic, she said that the magic that I'm use is different, Tanako. The magic shop owner taught the slaves various kinds of magic. I did ask her to do that, but what kind of magic did she teach Tanako? I don't understand. What kind of magic are you using if you don't understand what you are using? Naofumi. I'm using the one that I learned from my father, Tanako. I have a feeling that it is some kind of a unique magic. I don't understand even a little of it. Maybe I'll understand it better if we go into battle. I don't have the power to understand the slave's ability. In MMO there's a function that lets you monitor the guild member's current status when you are raising them. In raids and castle wars, monitoring your allies will be your lifeline. In MMO I can choose my allies by considering their job in LVL. But I can't evaluate them if I don't see how they fight. Failure will occur again and again if the party is not organized. There's also a means where they could learn by letting them experience it firsthand. Pairing them with people they know to teach them the strategy is a surefire way of doing it. This is the evil truth because rules don't apply with it. This is the very reason that I feel like this is still a game. If I pair you with Atla, can you cooperate with her? Naofumi. Yeah, Tanako. What about Melty? Naofumi. That girl. What kind of magic is she using? Tanako. Isn't it water? I think that's what it is, Naofumi. I think Sadana is really suitable with Melty's strongest magic. After all, Sadana is an aquatic type of beastman and has a high perception with magic that is close to her habitat. How about you, Sadana? Naofumi. Well, I can do both melee and magic, Sadana. Then Rat is the one who understands demon ecology and Galeon's abnormal condition. Well then, I'll be the vanguard and those who are good with magic will be at the rear end. Sadana, Naofumi. Atla can't fight because she's suppressing Fyro's curse. I need more assistance given the situation. Sadana, please attack from the rear with your harpoon, Naofumi. Yes. Yes. Sadana. Understood, Melty. Yeah, Tanako. We don't have any choice but to go by this strategy, Naofumi. I just noticed, but this party has a high number of females in it. Although I'm not bothered with Raphtalia, Fyro, and occasionally with Rishia. I think that this is a kind of party that Motoyasa would make. I should treat Foal more kindly. He may be a Siscon, but I'd like a male companion. Count, are you thinking of something strange, Rat? How do you know that I'm thinking about something like that? Do the people in this world also have sixth sense? Or is that what you would call a woman's intuition? Just kidding. Furthermore, several hours have passed and we've arrived at the East Village. The sun also began to rise. The means of transportation through Fyro is really fast, but Galeon's flying speed is something else. The mountains in the eastern village is covered in clouds. It's really dark, TLN, just to clear he meant that the mountainside is covered in clouds. Not the entire eastern part. Oh. It's Saint Sama, villager. It is the Shield Hero Sama, village. The villagers spotted us and approached us. For some reason Tanako covered her whole body with a sheet of cloth. This morning a villager heard a cry from dragon that came from the mountains, villager. It's as true that there is a dragon that escaped and ran over here. We are here because we are chasing after it, Naofumi. The YAA. Villagers. I didn't say that it came from our village because our reputation would be affected. But the villagers who can somehow understand what's happening fell silent. Just, Naofumi. I looked at Atla and Fyro's situation. They seemed really tired. I was able to pinpoint the location where Galeon ran away. We haven't taken any rest since yesterday. Go and take some rest for a while, Naofumi. But, Melty. If you are not in your best condition, we may not be able to win. Overdoing it is unacceptable, so please agree and wait a little bit, Naofumi. You understood, Melty. I registered the village into the portal shield and it would be better if I leave a message to the village, TLN, he's referring to the leaving a message to the demi-human village. Alright, it's best if we could return to the village when something bad were to happen. Portal shield. Naofumi. Of course, I memorized the location and went back to the village to check if Raphtalia and the others have returned. I can warp 7 people including me. It says 6 people but I'm not included in it. In short, I can warp 7 people including me. I suck at explaining things. Let's just say 7 people in total. Or is it based on 3 people plus my LV/20 kind of condition? Fyro and Atla is leaning against the wall and is resting alternately. I reconfirmed her status. Fyro's LVL is still decreasing little by little. This is dangerous. Please rest more until it's time, Naofumi. Understood, Melty. Please understand that I can't make medicine strong enough to suppress it, Naofumi. Fyro. Fyro-chan, here's some water, Melty. Thank you Fyro. I asked if they've seen Raphtalia but the results are not good. I explained our escape with the portal shield and the cooldown. I hope that Raphtalia gets back soon so we can start immediately. Time is the problem. Judging from Fyro's condition, she won't even last for half a day. I can't do anything but pray that Raphtalia and the others gets back from their training soon. I guess it's impossible after all, Naofumi. The cooldown has finished but Raphtalia isn't back yet. We don't have a choice but to stop Galeon with this people. We just have to prepare for the worst. Atla and Fyro, please rest in the village, Naofumi. Please master, Fyro. We don't have to travel long distance anymore. Traveling is just a stone's throw from here. Don't overdo it, Naofumi. But I want to go, Fyro. Stop it. If you force yourself, you would only be too much of a burden. You can barely move. Yourself, you're already at your limit, Naofumi. No, Fyro. I said Atla and Fyro, Naofumi. I understand. Fyro, let's just leave it to Naofumi-sama, Atla. But Fyro. Naofumi-sama is saying that taking Fyro along is too much of a load to take. But even if he doesn't say so, I will still stop you, Atla. Fyro reluctantly nodded in Atla's every word. Atla, who has some trouble speaking because of her illness, and Fyro having the same situation because of the curse. This approach may become effective. How about you, Melty? Naofumi. If it's for Fyro, I would do anything, Melty. Don't force yourself. Because you're the next queen. Naofumi. I understand, but this is something more important than being a queen, Melty. Can't be helped, they are close friends after all. After I leave and return to my own world, Fyro would probably stay with Melty. Fyro, please wait a moment, Melty. Fyro. Please rest quietly in bed, Melty. Fyro. I held Fyro's face and then she cried because of the feeling of helplessness. This is the first time that I did such a thing. This is too much to bear. It's time to leave. Portal shield, Naofumi. Then we came back to the East Village and have begun to walk towards the mountain filled with dark clouds. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 179, A Massive Klysha. It should be somewhere around here. Naofumi. I climb the mountain, only to find that the ecosystem here is just as messed up as ever. The soil is polluted, and it feels like the flow of magic here is abnormal. I never thought that I'd have to return here someday. Tanako stares back at the village with angry eyes. What exactly is she mad about? Last time, Fyro was able to send all of the monsters we encountered flying, but this time is different. We wasted time fighting the battles. Though having Satana, Rat, Tanako and Melty here sped things up. I lead the flow of the power of the land, and give it the power of incarnation. Earth Pulse, become my power. Dark Firebolt. Tanako's magic summons black flames that burn the monsters. The incantation seems to be fundamentally different from the magic I know of. Her magic seems to concentrate the surrounding energy and release it. Melty. It really is a strange magic. Naofumi. Yeah. I've only learned the basics, but this is a magic that borrows powers from the surroundings. Tanako. I see. Naofumi. Father could use much more powerful magic. Tanako continues casting her strange spells. I wonder what sort of mage her father was. Rat looks at the magic and cocks her head. That magic is, Rat. You know it. Naofumi. It doesn't seem to be a power of human or demi-human origin. Rat. But Tanako is a demi-human, right? She has doggish ears and everything. I never asked her exactly what race she was, because I wasn't interested, though. Could she have received special protection from something? Rat. TL, as in divine protection, divine gifts. By the way, what sort of magic can you use? Naofumi. Recovery magic. Rat. Ah, I see. I'll leave support to you. Naofumi. That's what I planned on doing anyways. Rat. Sadana eliminates the remaining monsters in silence. It's not widely known, but it isn't an extinct form of magic. Perhaps I should teach her some advanced spells. Sadana. Sadana spins her harpoon and begins to cast magic on the monsters that begin appearing in great numbers. She pulls out a canteen of water and holds it out. I, Sadana, draw out the power of water to do my bidding. Dragon Pulse, eliminate my enemies. Saint Aquabolt. Sadana. Using a similar chant as Tanako, Sadana unleashes a shining mass of water. Everyone there is taken aback. By the way, I can also use the main varieties of magic as well. Sadana. I who has understood the origin of power command you. Once again be red and come forth. Pierce all with spheres of water, Faust Aquashot. Sadana. She takes out another monster with a magic I am familiar with. It seems Sadana is needlessly skillful. It's not like she was hiding anything, I just don't know too much about her in general. Understand? Magic that takes from one's surroundings has power proportional to the surrounding environment. Make sure to prepare things to aid you beforehand. Sadana. Sadana hands the canteen to Tanako. This flask contains holy water, so it works well on the monsters of this land. But if you use it too much, the effectiveness drops, so be careful. Sadana. G got it. Tanako. If you're really in a tight situation, you can try borrowing power from the sky. It's hard to control, though. Sadana. Amazing, you can use the same magic as Father. Tanako. Only a little. I usually use magic that changes the flow of energy in my own body. Sadana. What sort of magic is that? Naofumi. That sounds convenient, of course it's not like I'll be able to learn it. Humans and demi-humans need special blessings to learn it, so it's rare. Perhaps Naofumi-chan will be able to use it. Sadana. What do you mean? Naofumi. Ah, but with Fyro-chan here, that might be difficult. Sadana. I can't learn it if I'm with Fyro? I'm getting more and more curious as to what sort of magic it is. Are you possibly referring to that? Rat. Rat seems to have figured something out. She addresses Sadana. One of the extinct magics. Currently only known and passed down by high-class monsters, Dragon Pulse Order. Rat. Correct. I was once taught it a long time ago. Sadana. That's kinda amazing. Melty. Melty seems to have never heard of it before. Ah, Melty-chan might have the aptitude for coral magic. Sadana. Melty. Coral magic? What's that? Is it similar to ritual magic? In the magic books I've read, was that magic there? I think I've heard about it before, but I can't remember where. Impossible, impossible, not happening. Melty. It's fine. Melty-chan. Even your hair color signifies that you have the talent. Trust me. Sadana. Melty is frantically denying it. Ah, I think coral magic was that thing bitch was doing. Casting several magics at once. Anyways, you have the talent, Melty-chan. Work hard. Sadana. You. Melty. Even so, Melty's level isn't that high. I don't think you should expect that much from her. I'll teach you when you're ready. Shall I lecture on magic as we head there? Sadana. This has somehow begun to feel like a picnic. You know, Fyro's life is on the line here. Anyways, we talk as we climb up the mountain. We arrive at the area that the dragon zombie had previously lain. It's been 3 hours since we set out. There isn't a single blade of grass growing in the area. Even now, this land is heavily polluted. Where could Galeon be? Naofumi. I think that way. Tanako. Tanako points further up the mountain. What? As if answering her statement, black fog begins rising from that area. My. That seems quite ominous. Rat. But we have to go. Tanako. Tanako begins to lead the party. You know the way. Naofumi. Yeah. This way. Tanako. Tanako seems familiar with the area as she leads the party. I see, so that's it. Sadana. What? What happened? Naofumi. Sadana seems to have figured something out. If you don't explain it, I won't get it. Naofumi-chan, are you the type of person that digs up people's pasts? Shall I tell you this Oni-san's past? Sadana. Don't care. Naofumi. She seems to be dodging the subject. Past? Did Tanako live here before? Was she part of a reclusive village of demi-humans that lived with the dragon? This area's population died out from plague. Perhaps she had tried to escape it and gotten sold off. And the magic was passed down through that village. Was it something like that? There. Tanako. 2 hours later, Tanako suddenly jumps and begins pointing. Of course, we had to fight a lot of monsters on the way. Fyro's remaining time is running out, yet we were wasting time on the way. Here. Galeon is lying down in front of a cave. Is he asleep? He's not moving at all. We remain hidden as we approach him. If we can get close enough, I can seal him with shield prison. After that, we can prepare magics and release them the moment the prison vanishes to weaken him. And then Rat can use her drug. After that, I'll just need to get Galeon to spit up the core. But that's just the best case scenario. Shield prison's range is 5 meters. We are 20 meters from Galeon. I analyze him. His level is 55. He's stolen more than 20 levels from Fyro. Gaia. Galeon. Galeon suddenly opens his eyes and rushes into the cave. Damn. Naofumi. A failure. But now we can trap him in the cave. We carefully peer into the cave. Galeon seems to be scampering around the cave, frantically looking for something. What is he doing? Naofumi. I think he is looking for his treasure. The villagers took it already. Tanako. Dragons have a habit of collecting things. I think the soul in the core Galeon ate had some lingering affections for his treasure. Rat. I see, so dragons are that sort of life form. Tanako. Tanako quietly murmurs something. But I have no time to hear her out. Okay, let's go. Naofumi. Galeon. Tanako. And we approach the target. Gaia. Galeon. Galeon shouts out. Thump. The shield pulses in response to the yell. What is this? When Galeon shouted out earlier, nothing like this happened. This seems to be dangerous. We should create a bit more distance. Rat. Galeon. Come here. Please. Tanako. But the shield continues to pulsate. A visible black aura emanates from it and begins enveloping Galeon. And Galeon even begins sucking up the pollution from the surrounding land. Galeon's body gradually increases in size. I'm getting a very bad feeling, but Rat, do you know anything? Naofumi. How should I know? Isn't it your shield's fault? Rat. Probably. I think I absorbed some things like Fyro did. Naofumi. Hey, Naofumi. Why do you look a little happy? Melty. Ha. Naofumi. Well, this did give off a bit of a boss battle vibe. But I'm getting a very ominous feeling. Something must be wrong with me. Naofumi, you got power from the zombie dragon's core, right? Melty. Yeah, the shield I used to defeat the spirit turtle, the wrath shield used the core's power. Naofumi. Didn't that shield appear whenever you got mad at sister and father? Melty. Sister. Ah. Why was I angry at her again? Naofumi. Theotsite. Melty and Sadana. Melty and Sadana point their finger at me and shout out. Naofumi, that thing sucked up your hatred for sister, among other things. Melty. What? Naofumi. Damn. I can't remember anything. I get the feeling that it's something I'm better off forgetting. The world around me seems off. Now that I think about it. Sadana is quite a beauty as well. Why didn't I notice it before? Naofumi, your eyes are creepy. Go back to your normal self. Melty. Even if you tell me that, Neofumi. Raphatalia. When I think of her, my heart beats faster. Phiro is in trouble. Even when she's a bird, she's quite cute. In her human form, I might fall for her like Motoyasu. Melty looks like a standard tsundere, which is quite nice as well. Atlas is also a blind cute girl. I can imagine her growing up to be a beauty. Foal's Siscon is understandable. Fufu. If this was Niraj, it would be NTR. This is really bad. I don't know what's bad, though. What's this about NTR? Useless. Is the me without hate, resentment, and killing intent just a massive cliché? I must retrieve my negativity fast, or things will get dangerous. In numerous ways. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 180, good luck. I check the Wrath Shield. You have not cleared the conditions to unlock this shield. I can't check its status. Engalian's status is so corrupted that I can't make any sense of it. For now, the only thing we can do is defeat him. Neofumi. Defeating it is, correct, right? Tanako. Galian was able to slip past us and get out of the cave. His size is now greater than 20 meters, he looks like an authentic dragon. His eyes are shrouded in darkness. I can't read his expression. I can't find any part of this being similar to the Galian we know. Galian. TL, note, this sound is written in alphanumerics. Ah. Yes. I'm fine. How have you been? Tanako. Everyone snaps their heads towards Tanako. She's also at a loss for words. She's one of the lower level slaves, who has yet to class up. Galian takes in a large amount of air. He's going to unleash a breath attack. Meteor Shield. Neofumi. I deploy Meteor Shield, and prepare for the impact. The others get behind me. I'm going to borrow the holy water for a second. Sadhana. Sadhana takes her holy water back from Tanako and begins to chant. I, Sadhana, draw out the power of water to do my bidding. Dragon Pulse, protect my body. Saint. Aqua Shield. Sadhana. Sadhana's magic envelopes the party. I wonder what's its effect. Neofumi-chan, I made preparations in case his flames are able to inflict curses. Sadhana. Thanks. Neofumi. As long as I can withstand his blasts, we can stand a chance. It's not like it's as strong as the spirit turtle. A pitch-black flame comes from Galian's mouth, and flies towards us. It immediately dissolves the meteor shield on impact. What? That shield was able to withstand being trampled by the spirit turtle, yet it was destroyed. In an instant. The flame continues to fly right at me. I deploy E-float shield as well, and block it. My body feels like it's melting as my shield takes on the attack. Just considering output, the attack rivals the spirit turtle's lightning. Saint Aqua Shield was dispelled. What a powerful breath and curse. Sadhana. I quickly cast recovery magic and stare at Galian. This is, without a doubt, the flames of the dark curse burning S. Perhaps what I was doing was merely an imitation of Galian's power. This is a monster with the power of the Wrath Shield. It even sucked up Phiro's level and status, making it a tougher opponent than the Spirit Turtle. Retreating is always an option. But if I run here, then I can't consider myself a hero. Did I just think something stupid? Something feels off. Rat, if we weaken it, can you get the core from its stomach? Neofumi. By getting eaten. Rat. Possibly, but it might be quicker to cut its stomach open. Neofumi. After we're done, we'll heal it, right? Rat. Yeah. Neofumi. Hopefully that's enough to solve the situation. Tanako is desperately calling out to the dragon, but it seems to have no effect. If this were an anime, there would always be a slight effect. Then this Oni-san has to work hard. Sadhana. Sadhana spins her harpoon as she steps forwards. Can you do it? Neofumi. I'll try. Sadhana. Sadhana points the harpoon at the sky and begins chanting. I who has understood the origin of power command you. Once again be red and come forth. Rain. Down spears of lightning, Driafach thunderbolt. Sadhana. Upon Sadhana's chant, the clouds in the sky begin to grow dark, and lightning flashes between them. The clouds gather around Sadhana's outstretched harpoon. Driafach. It's a level above Zevate. For the level 35 Sadhana to be able to cast that is quite a feat. Could she possibly be very strong? Her previous level had capped at 40, but I wonder what level her strength was on. It's a bit dangerous, so step back. Sadhana. Sadhana leans forward, and begins rushing towards Galion. She's fast. Though slower than Raphatalia, she's running at a speed unbefitting of her level. Thunder Impaler. Sadhana. With a loud sound, Sadhana kicks off the ground, and throws her harpoon at Galion's abdomen. The moment the harpoon leaves her hands, lightning comes out of it, blinding the dragon and preventing it from dodging. And immediately following, the harpoon pierces Galion's chest. Or as should have. Gakin. A sound like the one that occurs when something hits my shield rings out, and the harpoon sticks in Galion's skin for a moment, before being shot back in the direction it came from. Era. It seems Oni-san's signature move didn't work. Sadhana. Sadhana lands, and catches the harpoon while stepping backwards. She then rejoins us. So we're in a lot of trouble unless Raphatalia gets back. Neofumi. The blinded Galion puts its hands over its eyes and lets out a moan. We can see if other magics work. But the outcome doesn't look good. But we can't just sit back and do nothing here. Our time is limited. Count, can't you do anything? Rat. Even if you say that, Neofumi. It's sucked away my offensive abilities. Sucking away abilities? It at least seems to have the powers of the Wrath Shield. What will happen if I try to strengthen that shield? I'm going to try to strengthen the shield that seems to be his source of power. Neofumi. Are you an idiot? Rat and Melty. Rat and Melty call out. Wait. Listen to what I'm saying. Strengthening occasionally fails. What do you think would happen if I purposely made it fail? Neofumi. Is that how it works? Melty. Yeah, I think that dragon is getting defensive abilities from my shield, blocking all attacks. Perhaps I can destroy his defenses. Neofumi. Got it. Rat. Galion lets go of his eyes, and begins searching for us. It's only a matter of time until we're found. Let's retreat for now, and fight it again later. Neofumi. It will definitely stay within its territory. Rat. Probably. Neofumi. I activate the portal shield. It's not letting me select a destination. Could it be that the abnormal flow of magic in the area is blocking the skill? I can't teleport. We'll have to make a run for it. Neofumi. I don't think it'll let us. Sadhana. Sadhana points upwards. Galion is floating directly above us. We've already been found. If we wanted to run away here, we would need Pyro. Without her, it's impossible. Galion. He swoops down, and tries to slash at us with his massive claws. I step forward and take the attack. A great pain runs through my body. It's not as severe as with the breath, but it's still quite painful. I had quickly deployed the meteor shield, but it's only a matter of time before he breaks through. The claws are followed up by his tail, and then his fangs. All of them send great pain. Count. Zevate heal. Faust guard. Rat. Rat casts support magic. That saved me. I didn't have the flexibility to cast it on my own. Then, Melty-chan. Try casting coral magic. Sadhana. But, Melty. You too. Help Melty-chan. Your unique magic should be more effective than the standard magic systems here. Sadhana. Sadhana also issues orders to Tanako. Why yeah. Tanako. I'll take the front. Melty-chan, work on tuning and synthesis, you need to focus on support. Let's go. Sadhana. I see Sadhana and the others preparing their magics, and open up the Wrath Shield strengthening window. I have more than enough materials. Wrath shield plus 7 rightward arrow plus 8. Do you want to carry out this reinforcement? I select yes. Warning, if this reinforcement fails, the reinforcement will fall to 0. I ignore the message, and select yes again. You have successfully reinforced your Wrath shield to plus 8. Damn. Why did it have to succeed here? Beep. I timidly look up at Galeon. Yeah, his scales begin to shine for a moment. In an MMO, when you enhance a weapon, it usually glows for an instant like that. Why must I be so unlucky? You Count? He seems to be getting stronger. Rat. Ah, the strengthening succeeded. Neofumi, TL, Tehi. Are you an idiot? Rat. Yeah, I'm sorry. Neofumi. You're acting like it's a trivial matter. Count, there's definitely something wrong with you. Rat. I'm well aware. If we don't beat Galeon soon, I don't know what will happen to me. Neofumi. I immediately prepare to strengthen again. I once again select yes. You have successfully reinforced your Wrath shield to plus 9. Shit. Galeon's attacks begin to succeed in piercing my defense. The pain is getting too great for me to handle. Blood starts erupting from parts of my body. Count. Rat. Is this shield trying to kill me? If the next one succeeds, we're screwed. We'll get devoured. I button mash yes. Do you want to carry out? You have successfully reinforced your. Galeon's tail attack is coming right at us. Yeah, Galeon shines for a moment. If this hits me, will I start seeing stars? Galeon's mouth is wide open. At this rate, we'll get eaten. I continue the button mashing. You have failed in reinforcing your Wrath shield to plus 11. A breaking sound occurs and the Wrath shield reinforcement fails. Galeon's scales darken, and his attacks get visibly weaker. As he was positioned to eat me, he picks me up in his teeth and tries to bite down on me, to no avail. Get off. Neofumi. I grab his fangs and wrench them open with all my strength. I fall to the ground. Good, this finally seems like a battle we can fight.